I stood on the porch with a trash bag of clothes, watching my father change the locks. My crime? Being unambitious, while my golden child sister got a job at the hottest tech firm in town, my firm. Olivia has always been the shining star. Straight A's, extracurriculars galore, early acceptance into an Ivy, and now a corner office gig at Novatech. Me? I'm the one who dropped out of college, took odd jobs, and spent too much time figuring things out. To them, she's the blueprint of success. I'm the cautionary tale told at dinner parties. Last night, it all came to a head. Mom stood in the doorway, arms crossed, delivering the blow like it was a logical business decision. Olivia needs your room. You've had enough time to get it together. You've got 24 hours. No yelling, no tears, just cold, practiced efficiency, like she'd rehearsed it. And now here I am outside, clutching a bag that smells like the back of a closet, watching the locks click into place. Not even a goodbye. The worst part? Novatech wouldn't have even looked at Olivia if it weren't for the prototype I left behind. The one she claimed as hers. I was never the daughter they wanted. Dad made it no secret he was hoping for a boy. Someone to throw a football with, someone who'd carry on his name. Instead, he got me. And when Olivia came along 3 years later, perfect and precious with her ballet recitals and science fair trophies, my fate was sealed, the invisible daughter. Mom spent most of my childhood pointing out all the ways I didn't measure up. Olivia made the honor roll. Why didn't I? Olivia volunteered at the hospital. Why was I wasting time in front of a screen? What they saw as laziness was something else entirely. At 14, I'd already taught myself to code in secret, building rudimentary games on an old hand-me-down laptop. I'd stay up until 2 in the morning, debugging lines of code by flashlight because the glow from my screen kept waking Olivia up. Every night I played a game I'd written myself. One where I could be the hero, the genius, the one who saves the world. In that pixelated universe, I mattered. In that universe, I won. I never told them. Why would I? To them, it was just more proof I'd never grow up, never be like Olivia. They rolled their eyes and said, "You can't make a life out of computer games." Little did they know, those games built a fortune. A fortune that someone else now claimed, and no one even questioned it, wasn't hers. At 19, I sold my first real creation. A stealth communication app I'd built in my bedroom closet for $500,000. No investors, no co-founder, just me and my laptop. I should have been celebrating, but instead, I hid the money like a fugitive, terrified of what would happen if my parents found out. They weren't the kind of people you could trust with that kind of news. They'd either demand control or twist it into another lecture about how I wasn't living up to my potential. I could already hear it. Well, if you're really serious, you should invest it in Olivia's future. She's doing amazing things. So I kept quiet. A week after the deal closed, Mom barged into my room mid-code session, waving Olivia's latest LinkedIn update like it was a trophy. "When are you going to get serious? Olivia just got an internship at Goldman Sachs. You're still playing with that computer." Playing. That was the last time I let them see what I was building. With my earnings tucked away in an anonymous account, I launched TechHive from a rented basement under a fake name, Jade Vale. I built a small team, people who didn't care about my background or last name, only the quality of my work. Within a year, TechHive wasn't just surviving, it was gaining traction. Real clients, real buzz, and the whole time I stayed invisible, even to the people who shared my blood. I didn't know it then, but that secrecy would come back to haunt me. Especially when Olivia decided she wanted to be the visionary behind it all. It started as a joke. A resume slid across my desk with Olivia's name on it. My sister, applying for a job at my company. She had no idea, of course. She was pitching herself to Jade Vale, the elusive founder of TechHive. Her cover letter was full of buzzwords, all confidence and no substance. Still, something about it made me pause. I could have deleted it, blocked her, but instead I approved the hire. I gave her a sleek title, Strategic Innovation Director, and an office with a view. No real authority, no decision-making power, just enough to make her feel important. She'd be a face for the brand, a distraction for nosy investors, and most importantly, a way to keep tabs on her. She settled into the role with predictable ease, strutting through meetings with buzzwords and borrowed ideas, never once realizing the founder she idolized was the sibling she'd always dismissed. Then came the family dinner. She showed up, glowing, raving about her new position. TechHive is going to change everything, she said between bites of quinoa salad. Jade Vale is a genius. I'm basically her right hand. I almost choked on my water. Dad didn't even look at me. See, now that's what ambition looks like, he said, nodding at Olivia like she'd cured cancer. Maybe it's time you find a job instead of chasing pipe dreams. I opened my mouth to speak, just one word, one truth, but then Olivia flashed that smug, performative smile. It's okay, Dad. Not everyone's meant for the fast lane. The next morning, my key didn't work. No warning, no conversation, just a duffel bag on the porch and my father's voice through the door. It's time you figured things out. The irony? I already had. They just didn't know they'd thrown out the CEO of the company they couldn't stop bragging about. By day, I was the CEO of a rising tech company, running meetings in glass-walled boardrooms and negotiating deals over espresso. By night, or at least in the version of the story my family believed, I was couch surfing and barely scraping by. I rented a sleek, minimalist, high-rise downtown with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view that screamed success. But to my parents, I was still finding myself. I let them believe I was crashing with old college friends, picking up gig work, maybe thinking about going back to school. It was easier that way, cleaner. The truth would only cause chaos, and I wasn't ready to deal with the fallout. Back at TechHive, the irony kept thickening. Olivia became a regular in the family group chat, constantly venting about her mysterious, demanding boss. She painted Jade Vale as intense, intimidating, brilliant, and absolutely impossible to please. She'd go on about the pressure, the vision, the long hours. My mom would reply with concern, my dad with pride. "That's what a real leader looks like," he texted once. I nearly dropped my phone, laughing. Every time Olivia so much as hinted at feeling overlooked, I gave her a new title. Lead Strategic Architect. Executive Partner of Innovation. None of them meant anything, but they fed her ego and kept the charade intact. Mom would text updates like she was narrating a soap opera. Olivia got a promotion? Or, we're so proud of her rise at TechHive. And every time, it was me approving it. Me, sitting in my penthouse in sweatpants, casually deciding my sister's career path with a few clicks, all to protect a lie that had grown legs and a full resume. It should have felt powerful. Vindicating, even. But the truth was, it got heavier every day. Because with every fake title and every family brag, I was digging myself deeper into a story where I didn't exist. I'd built an empire from nothing, but to the people who raised me, I was still the girl who failed. the girl who watched her sister take credit for something she didn't even understand. The night of the Tech Hive annual gala shimmered with sharp suits, velvet gowns, and curated ambition. Olivia, glowing as always, breezed into my apartment that afternoon with a garment bag and a forced smile. "You can be my +1, she said, like it was a favor. "It's black tie. Try not to embarrass me." I played my part, just like always, nodding, smiling, letting her think she was the main character in a world I'd built pixel by pixel. She didn't notice that the security guards greeted me by name, or that the event staff stood a little straighter when I walked in. She was too busy being admired. We entered the ballroom like Cinderella and her stylist. Olivia made the rounds, dropping buzzwords and humble brags, introducing me as her sister, who's still figuring things out. I drank champagne and waited. Halfway through the evening, the lights dimmed. The room hushed. The MC took the stage and cleared his throat. "Please welcome to the stage our founder and CEO, Jade Vale." A beat of silence. Then chairs scraped, glasses clinked, and every head turned toward me. I stood. Olivia laughed, confused, nervous, until I climbed the steps and took the mic. Mom dropped her wine glass. It shattered against the marble, sharp and sudden. Dad's jaw clenched, like he'd swallowed a stone. "Thank you all for believing in the vision I started in a basement with nothing but an old laptop and too much to prove," I said, my voice steady, amplified, mine. "Tonight, I want to thank the people who helped build Tech Hive and acknowledge those who tried to take credit." Silence, then murmurs. Dad's phone buzzed. He looked down. It was HR. Olivia's name was on the screen. Termination notice, incompetence, misrepresentation, immediate dismissal. He looked up at me, white-knuckled and stunned. Olivia just sat there, frozen, like her world had been unplugged. For once, she had nothing to say. The applause came slowly, then all at once. It wasn't just a mic drop moment, it was the sound of gravity resetting, of a narrative reclaimed, of the invisible daughter stepping into the spotlight and staying there. The morning after the gala, the silence at my parents' house was louder than any applause. Dad stormed into my office unannounced, red-faced, breath shallow, rage trembling at the corners of his mouth. "You ruined us," he shouted, like I'd set fire to a legacy instead of revealing the truth. I didn't flinch. "No," I said, calm as glass. "You ruined yourselves when you threw away the daughter paying your bills." He blinked, confused. So I spelled it out. The mortgage, covered, Mum's yoga retreat in Bali, me, Olivia's condo downtown, her leased car, her curated wardrobe, all under Tech Hive's discretionary family allowance, approved by me, quietly, for years. They didn't believe it, not at first. But then the payments stopped. I pulled the plug that afternoon. No more direct deposits. No more blind generosity wrapped in invisibility. Olivia's luxury life collapsed in slow motion. Her Instagram feed went from rooftop brunches to passive-aggressive quotes. The car company called. Her landlord emailed. The facade cracked. And me? I kept building. There were no apologies. Not from Mom, not from Dad, and definitely not from Olivia. Just silence, bitter, heavy, and long overdue. But I didn't need their approval anymore. I'd already built the thing they spent their lives trying to fake. Real power, real purpose, real success. And I did it alone. Funny how the failure became the one holding all the cards.